next, please enter your conference ID followed by the pound key. Welcome to the conference room. Please enter your password. At the tone, please record your name followed by the pound key.
How about PALTIEL?
Thank you. You are now participant number 2.
Alrighty. Okay. So we're talking about the principle of the fact that in SS Spheres there is a hischalkus of Milo and Mato. And I posed a question in order to get this a clarity on this principle. Let us first identify the spot where we're going to start, even though it's not really the first time. But now we should be able to relate to it. Again, it is Islam at Gimel, right? In the second section on page AYIN Gimel, and the line begins Hoya Bei Milo Mato Ras Vasof. Or actually, before that, Lei Hoya Bei Milo. Okay, this is 5 lines from the beginning. Let's continue straight inside. The SS Spheres, Yesh is Chalkes Maso Mato. It brings down from Yitzchak that prior to the SS Spheres, prior to Atzilus, there was no Milo Mato. But in the SS Spheres, the Yesh is Chalkes Milo Mato. The who, and that is, the reason for that is Liyois. Being that your SS Spheres, hey, Bivchin is Slapshus Pnimi. The SS Spheres, they have this inner quality of Islapshus Pnimi, of an internalized type of correlationship. Being imbued internally. Oires Bekeli. Oires and Keli. Al-Kain, and therefore, because that inherent in the SS Spheres, there is in of Islapshus Oires Bekeli. Therefore, Lefiyei von HaKeli made in Bam Hayir. Lefiyei von HaKeli, according to the type of Keli it is, this is how the oil is made. And that's why there is a Milo Mato. The oil is affected by the fact that the oil needs to be mislabish in the Keli. And this is the point where we essentially stop. We went further, but the principle is this: that there's a spheres, where does that come from? Why is there a spheres which results in the fact that the kelim have an effect on the oil. The oil has to be according to the kelim and so forth. But where is the origin of this principle that the oil is slapshus pnimi, oil is kelim? So in order to kind of approach this, we proposed a very simple question. What is the difference between a field, which has open space, and a building that is totally undefined? Also, supposedly has an unlimited space, and it's undefined in terms of what its use would be. And everyone immediately kind of recognized that yes, indeed, there is a difference, and we came out back on a bunch of different explanations of what the difference is and why there's a difference. But throughout this thing, I'm saying I'm missing the point, the kuda. What in fact makes the difference? And if we get to this nakuda, then we will understand why in essence feelers there is the infinite slapshah says bekedi. This is a pneumius. The principal difference between a field and anything that was done on top of the field is precisely this, that something was done. The field is the way it is initially, without any action taken upon it. A building, no matter what stage of the building is at, the fact that it was built, whatever was built, there was some kind of an idea behind this effort. Even if the idea was not yet defined at all. We don't know what the building ultimately will result in. But the very fact that there was clearly an idea behind this effort, that idea represents the principle that this will ultimately be brought to a point of oiris bekedi, to a functional point. We have no idea what that would be. The very fact that this field was not left alone just to be what it is, but there was some kind of interference, so to speak, with its simplicity. This is useful. That already had kind of a definition. In very simple human terms, that brings it home. A person sees a field. He wanders the field, he wonders the size of the field and the beauty and so forth. He does not wonder what can the field be used for. That doesn't come up. When a person sees a structure, no matter how arcane, so to speak, how undefined the structure is, the thought of what can it be used for definitely surfaces right away. Because a structure has in its background a defining element. This is the union that as spheres have a defining element behind them. What is it? He pointed out, as spheres, this is after Aliyah Zorot. This is not the Oyer Insof as it is in its pristine state, so to speak. There's Aliyah Zorot. There's a rotzing to bring the Sphere to some kind of effect. That already carries inherently, even though it's way higher than that, there's still Sphere B'lima and so forth. But inherent in there is ultimately a union pnimi, some kind of a functional result. This is why we say that necessarily there is this halgus milo matter. What is the milo matter? How does milo matter come up? This is something very novel. Milo matter comes up because things that inherent in the sphirot, there is the inyan that they will be mislabish b'pnimius. Mislabish b'pnimius, that way it depends on the kind of a keli that will be receptacle for it. And if the keli is a coarse keli, and it cannot accept it, it cannot recognize the oil in its purity, in its pure state, then the oil will adjust itself according to the keli. Because ultimately the oil aims all the way from its pristine state, original conceptualization, that it will be oil pnimi. It will have effect. That is representing the fact that there was some kind of initialization, initial thought of it. That already speaks of ultimately some kind of a functional accomplishment result. Okay, hello? There we go. And this is why there is a slap, there is milo mato. Milo mato is not, it does not originate in the oil. Oil is oil. But this oil has an aim. The aim is that it should be effective. Oil is became. And whatever keli will be able to accommodate this oil, this is how the oil is going to accommodate itself. This is why there is a milo matter. Now let's look inside. Again, and this is 5 lines from the beginning. In the middle of that line. In the sphirot there is a subdivision between milo mato, that which is higher, and that which is lower. Let's define the principle of higher and lower. Thank you very much. Higher means more ruchni, more refined, more representative of an origin. Lower means more defined. More worldly, so to speak. More suitable to a worldly environment. It's meant lower. Who, okay, again at the end of that line. Being that the sphirot are bibechinas, they have the inherent inherent quality, qualifying of Islapshus. Why is there Islapshus? because this is inherent in the fact that there is an initializer to these spheres. They're not in a pristine state. There was interference. There was something. If there's something, there's an aim. Then you need a slapshot sphere. Ultimately, it's a slapshot spheres. It should affect something. Oilers became. One more point about the slapshot sphere, which we spoke about over these days and weeks. This union that there is an interference with the pristine state and giving some kind of defining element, the principle in it is, I want that this union that I have here should have an effect outside of its original environment. This is the principle behind it. It should be recognized. Its presence and its effect should be effective. This is why there is this interference. Therefore, inherent in this is oilers be kelim, because kelim is where this external effect can take place. Al kelim, and thus, the fi oifan ha-kelim, according to the way of the kelim, meir bohem ha'oir. The oir illuminates the kelim according to the way the kelim is able to accept it. Because, why does the oir adjust itself to the kelim? Because the whole union of the oil is to be effective externally in the kelim. So it adjusts itself to the kelim. This is an important principle. Got that? Al kein, and therefore, Al kein, and therefore, if a keli is more refined and more spiritual, there the oil can shine with greater greater extension, greater excessive quality, excessive presence. Beriba b'yesha does not mean intensity, but it means a greater presence. Although there is clearly a very close interrelationship in this. Intensity is a quality of the oil. Beriba means unrestricted, unrestrained. This is a quantitative qualifier. What is this qualifier of quantity? What is effect? What is the principle behind it? What would affect quantity? If the keli is what I'd like we should try and understand. If the keli is more refined and more spiritual, it means that it is more submissive. If it's more submissive, it can take whatever you put in, whatever you give it. If the keli recognizes its own presence at a tangible level, if you give it a lot of oil, the only way for it to accept the oil, it has to kind of lose itself, and that doesn't happen. But if a keli is b'dalka, beruchnis yoser, and it follows the oil, then you can give it an unlimited oil.
This is the opposite to the material world, where the more bulky the container, the more it can hold.
The more
overt and bulky, the more
faulty?
the more bulk. The more bulk.
Bulky.
The more chumrius, the more physicality a structure has in this world, the more it can hold. Here the opposite. The more refined it is, the more submissive, the more it can hold.
Okay, let's address that. Let's address that for a moment. See, this Indian that you're saying, a bulky keli, which means it is more coarse, there is more material there, it's heavier. A heavy keli, in essence, is not even a keli. Doesn't really relate to that which you put in it.
And it's just a holding place. In this world, we use it to hold things.
It's a holding place. I explained it many times.
But it's not. What's it lacking there? It's not interactive. It's not responding to
It's
life.
not pnimi.
Okay, but meaning it's not relating to what it holds. Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
I said many times, you put pebbles in a cup. There is no relationship there. If you put water in a cup, So now think of it like this. Water in a cup have a specific definition. This is water. This is drinking water. It's not water plain for storage, like you put water in a pail. This is drinking water. Not only drinking water eventually, but this is prepared now to drink for the human being to drink. Now we have nowadays all kinds of different cups that are prepared for drinking. Okay, we have the styrofoam cup. We have the plastic cup, translucent cup. We have plastic cups, regular cups. And then we have glass, and we have crystal cups. Each one of these represents a different level of a cup. And if you were going to serve a guest at an affair, a drink in a coarse cup, he won't be able to relate to it. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be the same kind of a message as when you serve it to him in a glass or in a crystal cup. Since that this is meant to be served, therefore the water is going to be served in a manner that is representative in particular in the cup, and be able to relate to the cup. Even though you're serving him water, what's the difference? That's what we're saying, that according to the Keli, that's what the oil is made. What is the oil in a cup of water? There is oil. Okay. And this is what Meir Hoyer B'Ribbe B'Yoser. The oil shines with greater, not intensity, but quantity. With greater absorption. The oil kind of takes over the keli. When you have a coarse keli, what you see is the keli. When you have a very fine keli, the keli points to what it contains. And therefore the oil is B'Ribbe B'Yoser. And that Hareze B'Chinas Maila. This is called Maila. Which is higher. It's closer. Higher means it has more of the oil quality. The Hakeli, and then on the other hand, the Keli, three lines on the bottom. Shehi B'Chinas Mitzius Yeser. That Keli which is more of a Mitzius. B'Chinas Mitzius. B'Chinas Mitzius means it is more emphasizing its presence rather than its service. She'ha'oil ba b'Chinas miyud, and thus the oil in this keli is b'Chinas miyud, is in a state of reduction, which means the oil is not emphasized as oil, but on a level, at a keli level. What do you care? This is water, you can drink it. So there's lack of oil. Hareze b'chinas matter, and that is a name for matter. And there's a clear distinction as the difference. V'harei, and therefore to continue in that same vein, kli ha'chochmo, the keli of chochma, he b'chinas dakos yesher harben b'chinas abin. The keli of chochma is much more refined, dakos, finesse, than kli abin. To the extent that, as we're going to see, chokhmah, perception in chokhmah, it's hard even to identify what you're perceiving, even though there's a perception. The keli is much more refined than the bina, and therefore the oil is a higher oil. Okay, so let's go into that as a next step. As for example, when you come to haskol, it means comprehension, not understanding, but having the initial conceptualization. That's a better word. In the conceptualization of it. At that point, the sichli, it's a seichel, but the sichli is not b'chinas halbosh, or halbosh is not yet fully dressed up, which means you don't have a handle on it. You see it, you identify it, and you don't have it. In initial conceptualization. The sikhli, in conceptualization, the sikhli is pure sikhli. Its relationship to a keli is not yet clear. Let's take our course, Shalom. Somebody dreams up, I'm going to make something that will allow people to move long distances across the entire country or across the entire city. Originally, that was also a fantastic thought. How are you going to do that? I don't know. I have no idea. But this is the idea. This is what I want to effectuate. Why? Because I want people to be able to relate to different places in the city. Not because I have an idea of a vehicle. I have an idea of what the Indian is. And that sikhli, there is not even the means by which you intend to accomplish it. The whole sikhli is based on one principle. The 2 points that I want to be able to reach from one to the other are both present on the same earth. Therefore, it has to be a means by how we can connect. If I can see one point, one place from the other place, then I should be able to get from one place to the other place. My seeing it is what compels me to go for the next step. There's no keli at all. Nonetheless, there's a seichel. And the seichel will eventually end up in the keli. So this sikhli is not the b'chinas halbosha. It's not halbosha. It is, the sikhli is there not because I have a means for how to accomplish it. The sikhli is there because I wanted to be there. From the sikhli initiation. That's seichel. That's called haskol. This is it for this morning.
Abrupt.
Yep. You have to be Eres B'Keli. That's how we start saying information. Listen, do me a favor. The lady comes to your house.
He's in the house.
Please give him one of these.
Well, I have one in the house. You want me to give it
Let me
personal?
Yeah, it's not a gift, it's a loan.
Okay.
Because I'm really interaction with it. Okay, so I'm going to lend him here, so take this one.
Disconnected.
You see, your question today has driven down the whole discussion. Number one, like I said, direct connect. And if